I know, sorry, schools. If
Attention viewers.
YouTube world. So if you get one of each at any run of this experiment, right now we're running 6 sides. Six sides. That means you rolled the die exactly 6 times and you got one of each of the sides. So you got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. It doesn't mean you got them in that order, it just means that you got one of each. I don't tell you in the program how many it took to get a repeat or how many it took to see all of them because we could figure it out. You obviously didn't get a repeat yet, did you? Because you got one of each. So how many would it take to get a repeat? 7. It would take 1 more because whatever you... Think of it like this. You got 6 pairs of socks in your drawer, all different colors and patterns. But you're not smart enough, like I am not smart enough, to put them together. So there's just 12 random socks in your drawer. And you reach in, you're looking for a match, and you reach in, you grab one. You don't have a match yet, throw it on the ground. You reach in and grab another one. Shit, doesn't match, throw it on the ground. Reach in and grab another one. Shit, doesn't match, throw it on the ground. You do it 6 times. 6 times. And you've gotten one of each of the pairs in those 6 times. Highly unlikely, but it can happen, yes? How many maximum pulls is it going to take to get a match? 7! Because whatever you grab next is going to match one of the 6 on your floor. That's the same logic for this problem right here. You've rolled one of each of the sides. Whatever you roll next will match one of the 6 you've already rolled. Is that fair? So that's why the first number is 7. The second number has to be 6, yeah? It has to be 6 because you've rolled everything 1 time. That's why I gave you the big note, the 1 of each. Yay. No. It just doesn't happen very often. Matter of fact, I had you each do it 20 times, right? And there's roughly how many people in the room? 25, say? So that's 1,000 trials, I guess, if we multiply it all out, right? It's about 1,000 trials. And we saw one of each, a second one of each. Anybody else get a 1 of each? We got 3 1 of eaches. That's a little bit shy on what it should be. It should be 1 out of every 120. But it's within a realm of possibility, especially if we only run a couple thousand trials. We'll get more on what the hell I just said right there momentarily, but we'll collect the data first. We good? Anybody still trialing? Anybody still going, getting numbers? We're all good? All right. Now, before you started this experiment, did anybody have a gut feeling about how many times it would take on average to get a repeat? If you're rolling a die, on average, did anybody have a gut feeling like, it'll take like 3 rolls? Shelby?
Oh, I was just thinking 6, like 50%.
On average, 6 rolls to get a repeat. I love that. I love that. What's the maximum number of rolls it will take?
7.
Obviously 7, yeah? Obviously 7. You can't roll more than 7 times and not see a repeat. I mean, you can't, because by definition, at some point you'll see. So good, after average of about 6.
Or 3.
Or 3. Or half of the rolls. Good, good.
You can.
Yes. You totally can. And we can actually analyze it as well, mathematically. But I'd rather analyze it statistically. So there are, in other words, there are formulas you can plug in and get the answer out. But rather than do that, the reason I had you run the trials is, this is how statisticians work. They go collect data for a situation, then analyze that, plot it, average that, and compare that to the theoretical, if they can even do a theoretical, which is arguable sometimes. For example, a flight simulator, you can't do a theoretical for. You can only do within, what did you call it, between the discs, Jeremiah? How did you put that, between the discs, when you were talking about the flight simulator?
Oh, we just set like our...
Your parameters. No less than this, no more than that. Yeah, and a lot of times that's the best you can do. There's no die that you can roll to predict the weather. Anybody check the weather this morning? I checked it for this afternoon, 70% chance of rain. Does that mean they're rolling some 10-sided die? And 7 of the faces have a little raindrop and 3 of the faces don't? No. But what they're doing is they're going back and looking at hundreds of, well, maybe decades or hundreds of years of weather data and saying, when the wind is like it is, when the pressure is like it is, when the humidity is like it is, when it's February, whatever day we're in, February 19th, 18th, 17th, 25th, whatever the hell day it is, I don't know, freaking day. 24th, that's right, because Saturday was twice a day. Whatever day it is, 70% of the time it has rained. That's what they're doing. They're looking at past data to predict future results, just like you guys are doing. I looked at past data. Now, it's pretty recently past data. But looking at the clock, too, speaking of past, we are past due for our break. Take your 5, we'll come back in, collect the data, average it all, see what we come up with. Okay?